Alrighty, this is hopefully the conclusion, or maybe just the beginning, or the result of a long time goal. We've got a 30-inch target set up here at a distance of 1,768 yards for an honest mile from a shooting position that is on that ridge, top of that ridge, all the way down there. So it's some distance. We're going to start at 1,000 and then take shots at a mile and see just how close we can get this sucker. Again, 30-inch target. Hopefully we can see it. Hopefully we spot some hits. Just to give perspective on how far this shot will be, we'll do some road driving. top of the hill, and a little greasy. It's been raining. Shooting position is right there. So, wow, that's a long ways. Shooting position. See if we can get this on camera. 1,000 yards. You can see those white targets in the middle there. 1 mile. You can see that white target way back there, up next to the mountain. That is a long ways. And remember, that's a 30-inch target there at that distance versus a 16-inch target at 1,000. So here we go. So, I mentioned I love my rifle. Let me tell you why. So, I played at 1,000 for 8 rounds. You'll see there. You'll notice that there's one off to the side there that I'm keeping and will likely be riding on. But took 8 rounds at 1,000. First round hit using ballistics arc, and their conditions, I mean, there's not much wind, but there is a little bit, and I definitely had to correct for wind a bit. So shot 8 shots, just had fun, knocked my target off to the side ski wampus. So once I had fun there for a minute, I just decided to run to a mile. Again, typed into ballistics arc, used their little weather meter just to check wind, everything else. The wind had changed a slight amount. And I used the truing feature to give me a very good estimate of my actual muzzle velocity. And I'll be darned, first shot, it called for 22.3 mils of elevation. My scope only has 21 total. So I ran out, and when I was aiming, I forgot to hold the additional 1.3 mils. So I shot, and it was directly in line with the target, but short. Saw my splash 3 seconds later, and thought, what the heck? A, I was really close, I was excited, but B, I realized that I hadn't held that 1.3, and it pissed me off because that was my first shot at a mile. Second shot, held the 1.3 and drilled it just right of center. Elevation was nearly spot on. So 2 things. 1, ballistics arc is the freaking bomb, and this little thing seems to be accurate and working. Now the wind's actually picked up a bit. It was 0 for a while there. Now you see it spinning away there. Come on, focus. All right, I actually think that's going to be clearer. So hopefully you can see that through the picture. Just to the right of that orange stenciled dot, there is a nice splash mark where that 6.5 Creedmoor round hammered it. So 1 mile, mission accomplished. Technically first right aiming point, but second shot, which is a little annoying. At least I'm honest about it. But we're going to shoot a couple more rounds, see if I can get a group before the weather changes too much. Well, mission accomplished. I can't tell for sure, but it looks like I either got 6 or 7 hits out of 10 to round out the box. But yeah, this is a very capable platform. I'm super excited. I went back to 1,000. Forgot to dial back in my wind down. But once I dialed it back, 2 hits on the plate at 1,000, almost dead center hits. This is just an awesome setup, and I'm digging it. So bottom line, got the AMG Razor, which is super clear, even at a mile. It's very easy. I can actually spot my hits on that 30-inch plate down there at a mile. Bolt throws a little tricky up, but it's nice and short, and it runs kind of smooth. I tried some gun oil and it wasn't quite as smooth. I actually used some CLP on the system there and kind of set it back and forth a bit, but it runs pretty fine. Trigger, awesome. Great single stage. I have all the creep taken out of it. Bipods are freaking awesome. This is my first Atlas, and I absolutely dig it. The Omega has done a marvelous job, and the accuracy seems to be fantastic. Again, I thought I'd be lucky to hit the plate once, let alone 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. I don't know how many hits, we'll go see. But super capable platform. And again, firing from this position, target is all the way out there. So if you can see that white dot right in the middle of the screen, that's a 30-inch plate that we're going to go out to. And check it out. See if I got 6 or 7 hits out of 10. 1,000 plate is right there, and I guess technically it's like 982 exactly, but makes a difference a bit. Good day. All right, taking the long road back to a mile. Finished shooting, shot the Daniel Defense rifles, V11, and then a Mark 18 short-barreled rifle, both of which were spectacular, ran flawlessly, great accuracy out to 1,000 with the V11. So we'll see the little nick marks in the target at 1,000 yards from the Daniel Defense M4 V11. I was going to shoot with a 1:4 scope. I've got a 1:4 on an American Defense mount and a 4:16, both Vortex PSTs. And I've got both of them on an American Defense QD mount. And return to zero is awesome. Like, so far so good. But with the 1:4 scope, I actually made a hit at 1,000. And that's at 4 power. I didn't shoot a bunch of times, but shot 4 times, and 1 out of 4 at 1,000 isn't bad for 4 times magnification. On the 4:16 scope, obviously much more consistent hits. Ended up with 7 out of 10 on that with the target. The target was more of a diamond than a square because the Creedmoor, I rocked it pretty good and it fell off the one side. I don't think I actually hit the rubber that holds it. I think it was just rocking and as a result fell off. So this is me doing some editorial, really boring discussion as I'm driving all the way out here. But this first target that we're coming up to is right at 1,000 yards. And the truing feature on Ballistics app was awesome. Worked really, really well. And got me on target in a couple of shots. And these loads I didn't chronograph. So I'm reverse engineering, and it's nice to have a known distance and the ability to true both the scope and the round together. And so you'll notice a couple of hits with the Creedmoor, and then you'll see a myriad of little speckles as I come up to it for the 1,000-yard target, and then we'll go on to a mile. So I was aiming at the larger plate on the left with the 223. It looks like I've got one hit that I was actually aiming for. I didn't think I hit it, but on the right side up there next to the headshot. But you'll notice the difference in Creedmoor versus 223. That bullet almost went through right there. But that's basically this zeroing that I took from there and then stretched it out to a mile. So next stop, 1 mile. It takes 3 seconds for the bullet to get all the way out to a mile. I've got to look at the velocity that it ended up being with that factory Hornady load. I think it's actually quite a bit slower than I expected. The box claims like 2673 or 2695. I think it's 2695. I think that's what it is. And I think it ended up being like, I don't know, 2590 something, somewhere around there, which I'm sure I'll be able to beat with hand loads because I can do 140s, 2800 all day long. So with a 26-inch tube, we should be able to get some big consistent hits. Anyway, that's the mile target out there. I can see it. I don't think you can see it from the phone, but man, that's a lot farther out there. I guess 3/4, and again, the distance that we just drove to, so should be a ways. But at any rate, Ballistics Arc got me on in 2 shots. 1 shot was my fault. Could have been 1 shot had I paid attention. My elevation ran out at 21 mils. It called for 22.3, I think it was, and I didn't hold the extra 1.33 mils. And as a result, my first shot was right in front of the target, but it was dead lined up. So I didn't adjust for points of impact. I just continued to shoot because I wanted to see how it would group and how I would shoot, quite frankly. So we'll see. I think it's either 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. But I fired 10 rounds, including the one on target. And I'll be very interested to see how it actually stacks out. So we've obviously got this little area here to go over. All right. Oh, that's so beautiful. I didn't think there was any way I'd be hitting a mile, but I could actually see the impacts and see the hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that a 7th hit? Tell me that's a 7th hit. Oh, that's a 7th hit. That's 7 out of 10 shots at a mile with that Desert Tech. All right. Turn the car off here. Oh, that's so freaking awesome. All right, so I don't think I need to tell this story, but this is a 6.5 Creedmoor at 1 mile. It's interesting that that one right there looks like a keyhole, and all the other ones were straight. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at 1 mile, and you'll notice just from perspective, size-wise, this is my hand. Usually I'm about 8.5 inches from here to here. That one's certainly keyholed and smack the target sideways. Let's see if we can see a couple of them. So here's some brass remnants. That's a pretty good one. We're going to keep that guy as a memorial to a mile. But all of these ones were straight and good, solid impacts. So it obviously bent the steel. This is not the strongest steel in the world, but I didn't want it to be so I could see the impacts. Oh, here we go. This is the guy that keyholed the crap out of it. So you see that guy hit sideways. That guy hit straight. So that should give us an indication how they're flying in the air, how they go past subsonic, because according to Ballistics Arc, these are going down to subsonic. Okay, so shooting position is way down at that berm down there. I don't know if that's going to come out clear or not, but it's at the very top of that berm. You can see the road kind of going up to the top, and we are all the way out here. So, all in all, that doesn't suck. That's actually a lot better than I expected. So that is 70% hit ratio on a 30-inch plate, but remember, this guy is obviously went a little wonky because he hit keyhold. These other ones were all good clean hits, so they survived that transition. It's all vertical spread. So vertical, I mean, you're looking at, it's about 8.5, so you're about 26 inches vertical spread. But horizontal spread, you're only about 8.5 inches center to center, including this one up here. So you're about 8.5 inches, 8.5 to 9 inches horizontal spread, which is awesome. At 1 mile, that's half MOA horizontally if you take out this wonky one, which again, if that starts tumbling, it's going to go all over the place. So those ones that flew straight, 6 not bad. This could be your extreme spread on your factory load. So it'll be interesting to see when I come back out to shoot it again, how this does with hand loads, and if those tighten up vertically just due to velocity differences. But this is a fun freaking game, man. I can't believe that we're hitting that distance. The mile per hour on the wind ended up being 3.5 miles an hour. So I was holding, I actually dialed the windage as well. But that's a long freaking ways. That's awesome. mission accomplished. Again, my point of aim was for the center center of that dot right there. So it was basically the stencil. I didn't adjust for windage at all, again, because I wanted to see how it would group, more importantly than trying to hit the middle of the target. I knew I was hitting the target. My first hit was actually right there on the right. Sorry, make that centered up. So that one from the bottom on the right. My second hit was right above it, that one there. Third hit was right down again, right in line with the first one. And then I stopped because that was a 3-round group. And then the wind changed, and my next shot was up there in the top right. And then my next shot was right there. And I guess I did compensate a little bit, but not much. And then my last shot, after shooting those two, my last shots, I should say, one of them was that bottom one. And then in the last section, I actually hit 4 or 5 in a row in the very beginning. And then the last section was where I missed 3. And that was one of the last ones. This must have been the last hit that I had right there, because I didn't see that one hit. The other ones I could see the splash real easily, and this one I looked at and thought it was a bug on the target. But anyway, pretty freaking cool.